Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 20 career mode here for our second season in MotoGP. So in this episode we've got the Catalonia test first, and then after that we've got the Saxon Ring, so obviously the German GP. I don't think I'm going to bother showing the Catalonia test because obviously I covered it last year. It's not really that important, it's only for development of the next year's bike. But we'll quickly have a look at the championship standings then, how they are after the last episode. Now obviously back in Mugello, which was a couple of episodes ago, there was a glitch which messed up the championship quite a bit. It's kind of returned to more of a normality now, after those riders that lost points have now got some more after the previous race. But I've got an 86 point lead in the championship, so the championship is virtually over already. I'm not even halfway through. I've got over double the points of the guy in second position, purely just through bad luck and glitches for everybody else. To be fair, I have won every race except one, but the gap should not be as big as it is. It should be a lot smaller, but obviously Marc Marquez crashing a few times, then they've been getting glitches and stuff as well, so bit of a weird season so far. Although, if you look in real life, it's been a bit of a weird season this year as well, so maybe my career mode is actually the most accurate to the real life season. Obviously Brad Binder managing to win the last race, which I don't think anybody saw coming at the start of this season. So if we look at the Constructors' Championship then, we are leading by 58 points ahead of Honda. Again, that was kind of affected by the issues, but it wasn't quite so bad. And obviously the gap isn't quite so big because it's not just Marquez that's had to hold down the fort for the Honda. He's got a good teammate now in Pol Espargaro, who actually picked up the pieces a couple of times when he wasn't there. However, there was one time when neither of them were, so that probably explains a bit of a jump in the gap. They lost a good 20 points in one race, I think. Well, it wasn't quite 20, but they lost a big chunk of points to the Austin. Obviously, Ducati, they've been a bit screwed over by some glitches as well. Yamaha, they've just actually been pretty inconsistent, to be fair. They've not really been messed about by anything. They've just not been that great this season. So looking at the Teams Championship then, obviously no surprise who's top of that. 105 points in the lead. However, the three teams behind are pretty close. Yamaha dropping a little bit back from the Ducati and Honda teams, but there's only 3 points between Repsol Honda and Mission winner Ducati. So then I'll head into the official test. I don't know if I'm actually going to bother doing it, but I'm not going to show it. We'll just I'll see you at Saxon Ring when we get there in Q1. So then at the end of the test, we're actually quicker on bike B, but I actually prefer bike A, so I'm going to continue and I'm going to pick bike A because bike A just felt better. I just did more laps on bike B because I didn't hit the target time to start with, so I'm going to go with bike A then for that one. So we're back here now. I'm just going to check if we've got any notifications on the Moto 3. Yes, we have. So new team manager applying. The stats just don't really seem to be any better, so I'm going to refuse it, and it's more expensive as well. So we'll go off that then. So we'll head into qualifying one now then at the German Grand Prix. So hopefully we do a little bit better than we did last year. Obviously we struggled a lot in qualifying, did quite a good recovery ride in the race to a decent position. And I think if we had a few more laps, I probably could have got to about 4th place maybe, but the qualifying was absolutely abysmal, and the AI were very, very fast, so I'm expecting a bit of a battle here. Hopefully this Suzuki will work around this circuit, but let's head into qualifying one, and I'm hoping I should be able to get out without any troubles. So then here we are for qualifying one here at the Saxon Ring. Obviously in real life, Marc Marquez has won about the last 9 years in a row here, and actually in the game as well, because he actually won last season, didn't he? So we've got to try and end Marc Marquez's winning streak here. So in Q1 with us then, bit of an interesting Q1 actually, so something seems to have happened here, but Danilo Petrucci in here with us then, Franco Morbidelli, Miguel Oliveira, Francesco Bagnaia, Brad Binder, Pol Espargaro, Johan Zarco, Aleix Espargaro, Tito Rabat, Iker Lecuona, Jorge Martin, Alex Marquez, and obviously myself there then. So yeah, obviously something has happened here because Pol Espargaro is not even through to Q2, so hopefully it's not going to be too difficult to get out, but we've got to go against Pol Espargaro, and then we've also got Morbidelli as well, and we've got some quite good riders in here, so it actually might be quite difficult to get out of Q1. So then, I think I'm going to go for a medium tyre on the rear, just because of the left-handers. Obviously, there's just basically half the track is just one left-hander at one point, and the left-hand side of the tyre gets so hot. So we're going to head out onto the track then with this medium on, and hopefully on my lap times are pretty good straight away, but last year they weren't, so yeah, let's hope it's not a repeat of that. So at the last corner then, that was actually a really good exit off the last corner. Wheeling a little bit now, but through that last corner it was actually really, really nice. So down towards the first corner, I'm a little bit gelled with the bike now. Obviously we did a couple of laps in the Catalonia test not too long ago, so obviously that was about probably 5 minutes ago for me, but yeah, not been too long since I rode this bike, although I did only do about 3 laps, so I'm not fully in the zone yet. We're 1.5 tenths off then in this first sector. I was going to say half a tenth, but then I realised there's a 1 in front of it. So that's pretty normal, to be honest. It's quite standard for me. It always seems to be about 1 to 2 tenths off in the first sector of the first qualifying 1 lap for some reason. Whether we're able to pull it back further around this lap, I'm not too sure, through turn 7 then. Bike already feeling a lot better than the KTM, but 4 tenths off now, so yeah, that's quite a way off. I hope it's not a repeat and we've crashed. We've got onto the grass and we have crashed and the bike is tumbling. Moderate damage here. Oh, critical damage. Hopefully that's not us out of the session. No, it's not. So we are actually still in the session. But we're going to have to box and head back to the pits. Hopefully it's not going to take too long to repair the bike. Alex Marquez behind us there, so we've got to get out of his way. But yeah, that's quite a crucial mistake, so we might have to start from the back here. That would be quite eventful. 10.6 seconds off. We're going to have to head back to the pits because this bike is pulling from side to side. And look at this damage on the side of the bike, though. It's absolutely atrocious. So we're going to have to head back to the pits then. Box this lap, and hopefully we don't have to take too much time in the session to repair the bike. But if it takes too long, we're going to actually have to go back out and try and set the time on this bike, which, yeah, that's not going to be very fun. Oh, it's going to take 11 minutes to repair. Yeah, I haven't actually got enough time, so actually I'm going to have to do a lap on this bike. So this qualifying session has definitely changed up a little bit from what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be probably quite an easy one because the Suzuki's quite good at turning, but yeah, we were a little bit slower than I expected. Got a bit too wide onto the grass and down I went, so now I've got to ride with half a bike basically. So out the last corner then, coming up towards the line. It would be nice in the next game if you could swap between your first and second bike like they did in real life. So if you absolutely destroy one, you can get back on another. But the bike is wobbling all over the place through this first corner, so it's going to be absolutely atrocious. The bike is just feeling absolutely horrible here as we go into the last corner then. Ran wide once again. The bike obviously has not wanted to turn at all. Running a bit wide onto the grass again. As we come towards the line then, what's this time going to be? 1:22, 3 seconds off the pace. Yeah, I don't think we'll be troubling the scorers in qualifying 2 here. Walk towards the line then, what's the time going to be here? 1:21.7, 2.7 seconds. That's still 12th place apparently. So we can head back to the pits one more time and have another go, but this damage is atrocious. So then I didn't actually bother going back out at the end of the session purely because we were so far off the pace there was no way we could make the time up. So then a rare mistake in qualifying means we're going to have to start from the back of the grid. It's such a silly little crash, just getting my wheel on the grass. Critical damage straight away, and that's it then. That's it, you're absolutely done for the session, that's for sure. So the 2 riders going through then, Alex Marquez and Polo Spagro. So the 2 Hondas obviously working really well here. Next thing to do now then is head into the Moto3 race. Hopefully my riders have qualified a little bit better than I have. So then this weekend, the upgrades have come, and it looks like it definitely has done some dividends for them, because 11th place then for Manuel Hernandez and 14th for Daisy Jackson, so some good qualifying spots for both of them, so hopefully they can both move forward in this race. So let's get it started, and let's see if we can get another double top 10. So then, we're watching Daisy Jackson apparently, but I'm going to swap to Hernandez since he's the lead rider. Wait for the lights to go out, lights out, and away we go. Off the line, has he had a good start? He's got past Gabriel Rodrigo already. Is he going past Antonelli down towards the first corner? Actually, might be Suzuki. Now that I think about it, yeah, it's Suzuki. And here goes Celestino Vietti round the outside. Is Vietti going to pull it off? Here comes Jackson. Jackson's round the outside of one of the Husqvarna bikes. Well, it must be Lopez, because I've just seen Fanati a bit further through the order. Round the outside goes Fernandez then of Celestino Vietti. And it looks like Jackson's already up into about 11th position, although she's been hung out to dry to the Omega corner, so she's lost a few positions there. But Hernandez is now up behind Antonelli, so can he try to overtake him? Well, now it's Suzuki once again. So the 2 658 bikes swapping positions quite a bit there. But Jackson now up into 11th position, it looks like, in the background there. Yes, she is. So it's now only Vietti between the 2 teammates. But up the inside goes Hernandez of Arbolino, side by side with Tony Arbolino down towards this left-hander. Obviously, a lot of left-handers on this circuit. So it's like, oh, this left-hander, this left-hander. But Vietti trying to hang it around the outside. Can he pull it off here on Hernandez? No, he can't. And Rodrigo going back up the inside of Jackson. Has he pulled it off? Jackson had to leave him a bit of space, so there's no contact as they flick it right down through the Ralph Waldman curve down towards the Saxon curve. Obviously, is the next corner. This is Queckenberg, actually. I don't know. I always get Queckenberg and the Saxon curve mixed up. But Hernandez still running in 9th place, then 10th place for Vietti and 11th place for Jackson. But here comes Jackson up the inside of Celestina Vietti. Is she going to be able to pull it off on the brakes into this last corner? Very close on the power slide in the rear end. Out of the last corner, then Yama Masia leads ahead of Romano Fenati and then Mino in 3rd position. But here comes Jackson. She's not quite been able to get ahead of Vietti yet. Oh, here comes Hernandez. Has he got to the inside of Arbolino? Has he pulled it off? I think he actually has. Yes, he has. So up into 8th place. Go on, Manuel. Manuel up into 8th position. Sean McPhee is now the next target. And we do want to beat him because obviously we are battling the Petronas team in the Teams Championship. So Hernandez up to 8th. Jackson's still struggling down there in 11th place, but hopefully she'll be able to get past Vietti soon. I think she's going for a move now, or not quite been able to get past Vietti there, but hopefully she can pass him later on in this lap. Her rear tyre's overheating quite a bit actually, so she's got to watch out. Is Arbolino going for a move again on Hernandez? Not quite. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do anything. So Hernandez, can he bridge the gap to John McPhee in front of them now? So Masia still leads ahead of Finati in second and Mino in third then. Antonelli fourth, Foggia fifth, Suzuki sixth, seventh for McPhee and eighth then for Hernandez, ninth for Arbolino, and now 10th for Jackson. Jackson going around the outside of Vietti through the first corner. Can she pull it off? She likes that outside move. Hopefully she doesn't lose a position to Lopez. Lopez bashing Fairings with her. Lopez now trying to hang it around the outside. I think Lopez might have actually had a really, really good run here. Has he got in front of her? She had to leave him a bit of space. Going around the outside of Vietti was not the best move because now she actually has lost a position to Lopez. So Lopez has moved up into 11th place ahead of Jackson. But Jackson up on the inside once again. Can Jackson do what Hernandez did to Arbolino? I think so. It looks like Vietti's making his way past Arbolino as well. Side by side still for Lopez and Jackson. Jackson still on the inside, but Lopez still hanging it around the outside. Lopez, that was a good move if he can pull that off down towards this left-hander. Yes, so Lopez has actually got back in front of Jackson, unfortunately. I know I sound happy about that, but just because it was a good move. That's what surprised me. But Jackson's slipping down then into 12th place, but it looks like she's struggling with that rear tyre. Have a look at Hernandez. He's got no such difficulties. I'm guessing that Jackson's probably not picked the best tyre for this circuit then. So Hernandez has been reeled in a little bit on this lap by Arbolino at the end of the 4th lap, about to start the 5th lap then. Arbolino is quite close, although on the straight it does seem to stretch out a little bit, so I don't know if he's quite in danger yet, but Arbolino does look like he's getting racy. He's looking like he's ready to make a move on Hernandez, but I really want Hernandez to hold on to this 8th place. Looks like Jackson's slipping further back towards Ralph Fernandez as well, so hopefully she can stay in front of Fernandez. So into the last corner of lap 5, then about to start the penultimate lap of the race. Arbolino's all over the back of Hernandez now. If he wasn't in danger before, he definitely is now of losing that 8th position. And you can see in the background, Jackson has dropped back from Lopez and is right in front of Ralph Fernandez. So Ralph Fernandez will probably be looking for a move very, very shortly. But Hernandez has still got a bit of a lead over Arbolino, actually. Arbolino had closed up to him quite a bit. But oh, in the background, Lopez is going for a move on Vietti. So some battling going on behind. So hopefully that will allow Jackson to catch back up. But I don't think it has, because I think it is finished now. I think Lopez has got his move done. So Jackson's still hanging on to 12th place then at the minute. Ralph Fernandez hasn't got past her. And it looks like Hernandez has still got a decent enough gap over Arbolino. Although he has got to watch out because that left-hand side of the tyre is looking a little bit worse for wear now. There's a couple of screen freezes popping in every so often now. Not really sure what's going on with that. Probably because the heat is very high. Another one there going. Seems that the mouse just shows up on the screen at the same time as well. So as they come over the line then. Hernandez still hanging on to 8th place. McPhee is definitely out of reach now. 1 lap to go, but Lopez has caught right up to the back of Arbolino. Arbolino's looking behind him and into turn 1. Will Arbolino be able to do anything? No, he can't. So that's one of the probably best opportunities you've got on the whole lap gone already. And Lopez is all over the back of Arbolino. Arbolino might not be able to attack Hernandez if he's looking back at Lopez instead. So this actually might save Hernandez then. Arbolino having to focus on defending instead of attacking, although he is still trying to close up and he is looking very, very fast. I can see that rear is sliding. I did say that left-hand side looks a little bit worse for wear through this left-hander. Got to flick it over for the right at the Ralph Waldman curve, and there's not much time left to go, but Arbolino's got a fantastic run, side by side down towards this left-hander. I don't know if it's Queckenberg or the Saxon curve. Around the outside goes Arbolino. Arbolino's actually pulled the move off, unfortunately. So Arbolino up its 8th place, but can Hernandez do anything at this last corner? Will he dive up the inside or will he be sensible? Let's have a look. He's stayed sensible, but here goes Lopez around the outside. Come on, Lopez, don't mug him as well. Up towards the line, then I think Lopez has done it, so I think Hernandez has dropped that to 10th place. Unfortunately, still a top 10, but he held 8th for so long, and Jackson comes home in 12th. So then Masia wins ahead of Antonelli, so the two leaders, well, the two runaway leaders so far in the championship until they crashed at Catalonia, getting that 1-2 then ahead of Suzuki, so that might change the championship order again. But unfortunately for Hernandez, he just gets mugged in the last sector by Arbolino and Lopez. His tyre wear just hit him too hard there. Daisy Jackson ending up 12th place, but a pretty decent result for both of them, both getting inside the top 15 again, so that's what I like to see, and they both qualified there as well, so that's some extra prestige for the team. In the Riders' Championship then, Yama Masia moves up into the championship lead, and Antonelli stays in 2nd place actually, and Suzuki moves down to 3rd, so Masia and Suzuki effectively have swapped, but Antonelli and Suzuki on the same amount of points, and only 2 points back of Masia. So this is a close championship at the top. They're a good 43 points ahead of everybody else, but quite a close championship then. Our two riders then, still got a pretty healthy gap to Gabriel Rodrigo, because I think they both beat Rodrigo actually. Kaito Toba moves ahead of Philip Salac, but only 11 points between our two riders now. Obviously Hernandez, I think probably for about the first time, has taken some points out of Jackson, so it'll be interesting to watch the dynamic between our teammates as the season goes on. Obviously Hernandez getting more experience, might get a bit closer to Jackson. In the Teams Championship then, even with John McPhee still beating our riders, we're only 4 points down on him now, so I think we are making some inroads, so we're very, very close to the Petronas Sprinter Racing team, so hopefully we can try and overtake them in the next race, but I don't think we will, because McPhee is very, very fast, but Powie obviously letting the team down quite a bit, so our two riders combined sort of match what McPhee can put together, but we've got a nice gap back to the Red Bull KTM IO team, so we're definitely safe in 7th, but hopefully we can go for that 6th position. But now it's time for the MotoGP race. After that mistake in qualifying, I've got to start from the back of the grid, so this will be interesting. So then, Fabio Quartararo on pole position ahead of Valentino Rossi in 2nd place. I didn't expect to see this on the grid, so it's been a bit of a weird qualifying session, that's for sure. So I'm going to go for the... Oh, I don't know whether to go for the medium or the hard. I think I'm going to go for the hard tyre just because obviously it's an 11-lap race, which is a pretty long one. So I'm going to go with that then. 23rd place on the grid. This will be an interesting race. Let's see how high up the order we can get. I'm still going to go for the win. That's what I want to get ideally, but it's probably not going to be that easy. If we can pick off a decent amount of positions on this first lap, then we should be okay. But let's get this race started then, and hopefully we can try and get a decent finish.
Everything is ready to start here at Sachsenring. Concentration is at the max because it's extremely important not to lose positions early on this track.
So Quartararo on the pole, then Rossi 2nd and Mir in 3rd. So the Suzuki clearly working well here, so hopefully that will apply to me. But we're waiting for the lights to go out here. The lights out and away we go here at Sachsenring. We had a pretty decent start compared to Aleix Espargaro. Aleix Espargaro go very slow. I had to get off the power to not hit him at the back. That is going to hamper me quite a bit as we go down towards the first corner with a little bit of contact with Marquez, but a crash behind Tito Rabat. I don't know if that was a concertina effect of me tapping Marquez, but we've had quite a good start up the inside now. Cal Crutchlow dropping down through the order a little bit, trying to get around the outside of Cal, leaning on him quite a bit there. It's Paul Espargaro actually quite far down the order considering how well the Honda usually goes here. Up the inside of Cal Crutchlow and Zarco still on the outside there then. Oh, losing the rear end in that first gear. That's probably because the tyre is so cold. I'm going to use traction control 3 I think for this first lap. 2 is probably a little bit too extreme on this hard tyre on this first lap, but we're up to 15th, probably to the point scoring positions during this first lap, so it's been quite a good start. Nakagami hitting me up the back a little bit there. Come on guys, you got to be respectful to me. Obviously I'm not usually with these guys near the back. The rear is really kicking here everywhere. Obviously no temperature on the inside goes Nakagami again. The AI being so aggressive, difficult to try and not make contact with them as we go into the Saxon curve then. So Saxon curve is this one, the Quakerberg was with the next one. What is Nakagami doing? That's about 3 times he's hit me on this first lap now. I've been forced on the green because of it. But Nakagami, absolutely crazy. He's still on the inside of me there. Through the last corner, then getting the power down. Trying to get past that Aprilia in the slipstream then of Zarco. So 14th by the end of the first lap. Can we outbrake Zarco? Down towards the first corner. On the brakes we go. Up the inside of Johan. Is he going to leave us the room? Yes, he has. So we've got past him then. Pecco Bagnaia up next. Trying to get up the inside of Bagnaia. Not quite been able to do that. Looking again up the inside of Bagnaia. Dovizioso down in 11th place. So Dovi really struggling here. But we've got past Dovizioso. Up into 12th place then. Paul Espargaro in 10th. No, we haven't got past Dovizioso. I don't know what I'm on about. We're up behind Dovizioso now. We got past Bagnaia. Or Bagnaia, as I've been told it's pronounced. As we go down towards this left-hander then. We've got a little bit wide through 8. But hopefully Dovi will be pretty easy pickings quite shortly. Through turn 10 then. The tyre temps are raising a little bit, so it's a bit more manageable. Through the Ralph Warman coming to get off the power. I've got onto the green and got to let Dovizioso just get back ahead. I was trying to close up to him, but I closed up to him a bit too much. Had to go off the track and I wasn't going to use the track limits to gain an advantage. Through the Saxon curve then. Dovizioso's gone in wide. Side by side with him down towards Queckenberg. He's going to have to leave me the space. So back up now into 11th place. So nearly in the top 10 already. Quartararo 19.5. What have I done? 20.3. So a little bit slower than Fabio Quartararo so far. But will Quartararo finally get his first win of the season? We've gone in a bit hot into the first corner. Oh, just keeping it out of the gravel there. Dovizioso comes flying back up the inside. But we're back up the inside of Dovizioso again with the cutback. So back up into 11th place once again. Paul has gone a little bit wide through Omega. Can we get up the inside of Paul through Omega? on the power now. Yes, we can. So we're past Polisbagro, up into the top 10 then. Franco Morbidelli up next. He's gone a little bit wide through turn 5. We're going to be able to have an attack on him there. Not quite, so we're going to have to sit behind him for now. Through the Ralph Waldman curve then. We've had a good run side by side with Morbidelli. Back up into 9th place then now. So we're into the top 9. Oh, Morbidelli's hit me at the back. What is he doing? What is he doing? Absolute madman. Giving me damage as well there. Franco Morbidelli. I don't know what is wrong with the AI at this track, but they've been absolutely ramming me out the way the entire way through this pack. So now, back up obviously into the top 9. Like I said, 19.9 on that lap. Jack Miller is up next. He's gone a bit wide through turn 1. We're able to get on the power and past him. Yes, we can. So we've passed him now. Miguel Oliveira is the next target in 7th position. So we're going to Omega. He's ran a little bit wide on the curb. I've almost lost the front there. Trying to get up the inside of him. It's going to be a bit more tricky than it was with Paul, I think. We're going to have to squeeze him out. Yes, we have. So up into 7th position then. One of my teammates up next then. Alex Rins. And it's Valentino Rossi from the front row of the grid. So he's lost a few positions there. So here we go then down towards the Saxon curve on the inside of my teammate Alex Rins. He's not going to hit me at the back, is he? I really hope he doesn't, because obviously we've already been hit by Morbidelli there. So up into 6th place then. Valentino Rossi up next. So we're able to be in the top 5 by the end of this lap. I don't think we're quite be close enough to Valentino to do that, although we've got a really good exit. Quartararo 19.4 on that lap. Fastest lap of the race. 18.9 for myself. So we are lapping a bit quicker than Quartararo then as we go down towards the first corner. Hitting the brakes then. Got the inside of Valentino Rossi. We're not going in too hot, are we? No, not quite. Rossi's actually hit me at the back though. So that's both the Petronas boys have hit me at the back. I've still got both my wings, luckily. But yeah, that's not helpful when they're giving me some more damage. Through the Ralph Waldman curve then. We've caught right up to the back of Maverick Vinales now, and he's dropping back a little bit from the group in front of him. So we're going to have to try and make a move on him as soon as I can. Got to watch out for that fuel as well. We've not got a massive amount left in reserves. We go down towards the last corner then. Queckerberg got the inside of Vinales. I don't know how we've actually quite pulled that off. I was half expecting him to cut back up the inside. Will he have better run though? Yes, he is side by side. 19.4, 1.5 seconds now behind the rider in front, which is Marc Marquez. Around the outside though, into the first corner on the brakes. We've pulled it off then, so Marc Marquez up next, and then it's my teammate Mir, and then Quartararo actually might be out of reach for me, because we've only got a few laps to go. So here we go then, once again towards the Ralph Waldman curve. This is where we've really been gaining quite a bit of time on the air. I'm going to have to go down to power mode 0 now, save some fuel. But Marquez and Mir are definitely within striking range. Quartararo is just out of that, I think. But Marquez has not had the best run as we go down towards the last corner. Then up the inside of Marquez. Are we going to go for it? Not quite, because he kind of tried to look up the inside of Mir as well. But getting the better exit then, side by side almost with Marc Marquez then. Trying to get some slipstream off him. Hopefully we can pass both these guys right at the start of this lap. Marquez pulls out then. I think he was looking to go for a move on Mir as we go down towards the first corner. Then I've got past Marquez. Can I get past Mir on the exit of the corner? Sit up the bike on the fat bit of the tyre. Lean on Mir a little bit through here. So we're up into 2nd position now. Can we catch up to Quartararo? We've got 2.6 seconds to catch up. We're not going to be able to do that one unless his tyres really go off the cliff. But we're up into 2nd position now then. It's been a very good recovery from the back of the grid in what's only been 10 laps so far. That was a pretty big mistake, that one there. As we're about to start the final lap of the race then. 2.5 seconds. We're not going to catch up to Fabio Quartararo, so he's going to win this one then. But I'm going to give it everything I've got. So out of the last corner then, up towards the line. Quartararo wins here in Sachsenring. Myself 2nd, Marquez then comes home in 3rd. So then in the end, only 2 seconds behind Fabio Quartararo, but his pace was absolutely immense. And from the back of the grid, I can be quite happy with that. Unfortunate to have our 2nd loss of the season. But it does mean that I think, once again, my championship lead still doesn't come down. So it's not been taken down in a single race this season, I don't think. Which is always nice. I think even when I got beaten by Dovizioso, who ended up 2nd in the championship, he was still further behind than I think Polisbagro was to begin with. So yeah, once again, we keep that streak of extending our championship lead then. But we finally get defeated once again. Obviously, once again, due to a crash, but this time it was my fault. Obviously we crashed in qualifying, had to start from the back, and Sachsenring is probably the worst track to start from the back at, purely because it's so difficult to pass. Everything I learned from the last season definitely helped me out a bit. But yeah, look at the pace of the front guys, 4.6 seconds. Rossi was actually coming at the end. He caught up to Vinales, Marquez and Mir. They'd all combined to make one sort of group, but then next guy's Rins, 10 seconds down, so yeah, absolutely miles behind. Tito about retiring there. I think there was a little crash, wasn't there, at the first corner that we should probably go and have a look at. But if we look at the championship standings then, Fabio Quartararo moves himself up into 3rd in the championship after his first win of the season. It's nice to see he's finally back on form. He's actually tied with Valentino Rossi. Lots of people losing a spot, obviously purely because Quartararo moved up 6 places. And we've now got a 90-point lead in the championship, but we've not got over double Marquez's score anymore then. But yeah, 90 points is an absolutely massive championship lead, almost 4 race wins worth there. Obviously that would be 100 points. Fabio 105 behind, same with Rossi. So really, Marquez is actually breaking clear of the rest. It has been quite a close championship, but it still is really close down to even 9th position with Pol Espargaro there having quite a bad race himself there. But Marquez is definitely breaking away from the others, and I wonder if Quartararo now after this win will get a bit of a streak going and will start to win more races. So then in the Teams Championship, I said that Repsol Honda, mission winner Ducati were very close and Yamaha were a little bit behind, but both of them jump ahead of mission winner Ducati after an appalling weekend for both of them. So Repsol Honda move up to 2nd in the Teams Championship and Yamaha up to 3rd then. 9 points between them, so those guys are all quite close, obviously with Quartararo getting a very good result there with the victory. And then Yamaha move ahead of Ducati in the Constructors as well, so Yamaha on a bit of a charge now. Nice to see that both the factory guys are actually doing pretty well in that race. Rossi doing quite well as well, but Morbidelli was a little bit further back. So let's go have a look at that replay then and see what happened at the first corner. But then after that we'll head into the career hub and we'll see what we've gained from this weekend. So then on board with the Rabat, and yes, the crash was totally my fault. I actually did hit Alex Marquez into Binder, which then hit into Rabat, so apologies for that, guys. I didn't actually realise that's what I was doing, but I had to dive up the inside a little bit. I mean, really, Binder and Rabat could have both sat up, but yeah, I did hit Alex Marquez a little bit. I mean, he overreacted a tad to that, I think, but yeah, that's made him go into the side of Rabat, and that was Rabat down. So this is on board with Alex Marquez then, into the first corner. He's braked very, very early. Up the inside I go, a little bit of contact with him. He's hit into Brad Binder a tiny bit, and they've just clipped they've hit Rabat, and that's made him go down, unfortunately. So this is on board with Brad then. They'd actually had contact already on the way into the corner, if you have a look. Rabat hit him, and then, yeah, and then he just nerfs him a little bit more, and that's just offloaded his front. So, yeah, a bit of a racing incident there, but if anyone was the cause of that, it was definitely myself. So then we don't gain too much reputation this weekend, only 12,400, obviously 0 from qualifying because we did pretty bad in qualifying, which brings us up to 622,700 reputation points. But the credits, as always, they come from the race, so we gain 112,506, another 80,000 from our Moto3 race, obviously because both of them, once again, getting in the top 15, and then 31,000 myself for getting in the top 5. And I did forget to say that that brought us up to 1,704,214 credits. And on the prestige front then, we gained 269 total. Apparently, Jackson didn't get the qualifying objective. 4th row, yeah, that actually would be top 12. Oh, so they need top 12 in the qualifying, and in the race it's top 15. I just assume they're both top 15, but yeah, it's the 4th row, not the 5th row, isn't it? So, unfortunately, Jackson actually letting us down a little bit this weekend. Obviously 12th place isn't the end of the world, and obviously Hernandez did then lose 2 positions on the last lap, so there wasn't too many positions between them, but not getting the qualifying goal again. I don't think she's ever got it actually, but Hernandez is starting to get it quite regularly, which is nice to see. And then we got 300 research data as well, which is always nice to see. So let's see if we can do anything with the bike development, but I'm guessing not. Next week will be the race, so no notifications then. Obviously the engine development did finish just before, but we haven't got enough research data to make any more upgrades on that, and obviously we can't do anything on the frame. But on the team development then, what did we do on the rider last time? So what we did was we made +2 on the bike development. We can go +20% on the research data gain. I will go for that. That's 90,000. That'll take 6 weeks then to come in, and then that is that for the Moto3 team then. So that is it for this episode. That's where I'll end it off. Quite a hectic race actually. It'll have most of the laps in there, I'm guessing, because I had to overtake so many people. I can't believe I made such a stupid mistake in qualifying, but I'm glad it actually kind of happened because yes, we got 2nd position, which is a little bit annoying to me, but really, it doesn't matter at the end of the day if we win every race in the season or if we don't win in every race in the season, because it's AI anyway. Obviously, we've never had a season where we've won every race. We've had one where we've won every race except 1, and now we could get one where we've won every race except 2, but yeah, so far, two losses, but still 2 podiums, so 2nd and 3rd place, so you can't really complain too much about that. I'm kind of glad that it did happen though, because it made the race much more interesting. Obviously I had the pace absolutely clear off, is what that showed that in that race, because we're already 2 seconds behind Quartararo at the end. A couple more laps. If I'd done a 50% race I would have still won. So that's where I am going to end it off then, guys. So I hope you guys did enjoy that video. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.